Chicky Maine, aka Dabu.com, with your Dabu.com video surf forecast update. This surf forecast update brought to you by Salt Life Food Shack with 2 locations, Jacksonville Beach and Coral Springs. Coming soon, Stewart and St. Augustine. Get shacked at the Shack, Salt Life Food Shack. We are going to be monitoring off the east coast of Florida and more likely the southeast Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days, but chances are getting a little slimmer that we're going to see something develop. So we wanted to start this forecast off with looking at what's happening over Africa. We've had an increase in tropical activity over in the West Pacific over the last week, and some of that tropical moisture is beginning to spread this way. And as you can see in this satellite image of Africa, we've got a east to west motion setting up, and you can see that the moisture has increased. And we're seeing a couple tropical waves develop here. We've got one that's just getting a little small one, getting ready to move off the coast of Africa. We've got one in the middle of the continent, and then we've got another one that looks like it's developing on the back end right here. The next thing that we look at is the environmental conditions off the coast of Africa. And for those of you who follow our forecast, you know last week we told you we saw signs that the SAL was going to be weakening. The Saharan air layer was going to be weakening during the first week of August. And right after we said that, fellow forecaster Teddy Allen was there in the region to experience a true Saharan dust storm. Those were the images that we used in our post yesterday. So the SAL came back really strong, but if you look at this image, you can see the last tropical wave move off the coast of Africa. See how it's rotating in here as it moves off towards the west? And what it did was it put a separation in the SAL. And the last dust storm you can see is exiting off towards the Caribbean islands through Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. If you look a little further west, you can see the remnants of that last dust storm as it sweeps through the islands, Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Now, this was clearly visible yesterday in the visible satellite loops of the Western Caribbean. You could see the cloud dust cover moving off that way towards the Pacific. The next thing that we look at is the intertropical convergence zone. And as you can see, that's over here on the right-hand side of this image, coming off the coast of Africa through here towards South America. And as you can see in this loop, see how it expands in here? Well, there's just a bunch of dry air that's moving with that last dust storm. And it has just taken all the moisture out of the air. As you can see, there's no convection whatsoever. So we're waiting for those 3 to move off the African coast to inject some more moisture back into the intertropical convergence zone. Over the last week, we've had 3 lows come cutting across the top of the United States, and on the backside of those lows, creating a northwest flow. It's drawing cold Arctic air out of the Arctic and pulling it down into the United States. Last week, there was over 1,000 record cold temperatures recorded up in here through the northern half of the United States. So it's that cold air that mixes together with warm air that creates spin. So that's it for now. Stay tuned for our next update. We're going to be looking at the surf forecast and what the potential is coming up over the next week. That'll be in our next update. Stay tuned to the forecast.